Got to give the people what they want. The people want 4.4 quadrant angles and reference angles. All right. So you should bust out your, you know what that thing is called, unit circle. All right. But you can also see this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the secant of pi over 2. So what we're doing is just practicing for some stuff that I'm going to ask you to do tomorrow. So let's find the secant of pi over 2. Well, where's pi over 2? It's right here. It's right on this quadrant. That's called a quadrant angle. So, well, what do I know about that quadrant angle? I know that it has the point 0, 1, right? So I know that for the point 0, 1, this is cosine, this is sine, right? So the secant is the reciprocal of cosine, right? So secant is connected to cosine. So the cosine of that angle is 0/1. That's the cosine. So the secant is the reciprocal of that angle, which would be 1/0, which is undefined. We just found the secant of pi over 2. It's undefined. Why don't you right now find the cotangent of 2 pi? It's going to be another, what are those things called? Quadrant angle. Cool, you just did that. You were like, oh, 2 pi, that's right here. That's this thing right here, right? And I see that 2 pi gives me the 1/0 as its ordered pair. So I know that this is cosine. I know that this is sine. And I have to find the cotangent, right? So let me go back to SOHCAHTOA. Cotangent is compared to tangent. And what do you got to remember about tangent? Tangent is what? Y/x, which is sine over cosine. So that means cotangent is actually cosine over sine. Oh, easy. So the cotangent of 2 pi is cosine over sine, which equals undefined. You're going to have to do that tomorrow, right? Then you're going to have to talk about reference angles. So go ahead and get this down. What are reference angles? Reference angles are the angle in the triangle that you create when a given angle is more than 90 degrees. So you just wrote that. Now, why don't you go ahead and draw these 3. Well, you can't see all of that one. Go ahead and draw these 3 angles right now and label them. All right, so let's look at this first one and let's draw some reference angles. So this first angle is 135 degrees, right? And I need to find the reference angle because what we're going to do, not because. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, since this angle is over 90 degrees, I need to draw this triangle. I'm going to put it in, right? This triangle. That's what I needed to draw to figure out my right triangle so that I could do all the calculations. So that means that my reference angle is this angle right here. So how many degrees is that angle that I just created? Well, we know the big angle is 135. We know the whole thing is 180. So 180 minus 135, how much do I need? 5, 7, looks like this is a 45-degree angle. So my reference angle is 45 degrees. Okay, let's do number 2. This whole angle is 5/4 pi. So I need to figure out my reference angle. Well, that means if I was going to make my triangle, my right triangle, I'd get this right here. And I would need to figure out this small little angle right here. Highlight it in yellow. So how do I figure out that angle? Well, what do I know? I know that this is pi, which is the same as 4/4 pi. This is 5 pi over 4, right? So, what is this little angle in between? That's 1/4 pi. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. So between here and here was 1/4 pi. So this would be pi over 4 in yellow. So the reference angle is 5 pi over 4. Why don't you draw and find the reference angle for this last one? Cool, cool, cool. You're like, oh, we got this. This is easy work, Mr. Bass. Why are you even playing with us right now? This is too easy. All right, cool. So you're like, okay, this whole thing is 300 degrees. So you're like, well, then how many degrees is it from here to here? Because my reference angle would end up right there. So I need to know, well, what is this? And hopefully you're like, oh, well, if I was going to finish this off, that would leave me with 60. 36, what? That would leave me with 60 degrees for my reference angle to finish off the whole circle. So the reference angle is 60 degrees. Trying to keep this thing short and easy. It's just a couple of extra ideas to add into this. Hopefully you guys will be ready for it tomorrow. And again, I'm serious. I think we might have this test on Friday. We'll see how class goes. But let's get this done. Y'all got this. Mr. Bass, I'm out.